Hi, welcome to Rejuvenating Lotus Applications using XPages session in LTAP 2010. I am Gayathri Viswanathan. I am the founder of Maarga Systems, a global enabler in collaboration and who's focused on the Lotus platform, and I'm also a Lotus enthusiast. Started working on it from the version 4.5 onwards and been in touch since even now, and it's been a long journey. So what is this session all about? We're looking at taking XPages, the technology that was brought up by IBM in Notes 8.5, and seeing how specific features of XPages can be used to really improve the usability of Lotus Notes applications. So, what's about these XPages and why is it good for you? If you have not used XPages yet, then these are new design elements IBM brought up in Lotus Domino 8.5, and they're a new way of working in the Domino world. So some of the key benefits here are: number one, you can pull in data from multiple different sources and put it together so that your applications screens can actually show data that the users can work with. So you can actually have one screen which has multiple views from different databases and then access backend applications and put it all together in one single screen. The second one is also the fact that you can write the same application and it would work on the Notes client and the web exactly the same way, and it looks exactly the same, and it uses the same language in client and the web, and it also includes Java, which makes it very extensible. So let's see this in real life. Now what you're seeing on screen is one of those old applications developed within a department, and it really is functional. They are still using it for business users. However, you can see that it has a standard view and a standard outline and doesn't do too much when I first come into here. When it was completely rejuvenated, here is how it looked, where a user can actually work on his day-to-day activities from a single screen, and it actually pulls in data from multiple different databases and shows it all in one place. So what are those specific features that we are going to use and showcase in today's presentation? And those are: one, the repeat control, search panel, how to embed videos, and we will also dwell upon custom controls in a small way. The repeat control is actually a very exciting one in XPage world. The key is, if you look at the old application, you can see that the user had to click multiple times and multiple buttons to actually key in his data, and if you had to have 10 rows of such things, which you see this is what they had to do, the developer had to put it together and had to have like about 40 different fields to hold all this. Now with XPages, number one, it looks better. Number of clicks have been drastically reduced, so clicking on this INC actually increases or decreases as respectively. And number two is all these different controls, I just had to write it once and then call it as a repeat control, and so it automatically repeats for different levels. So if I wanted 10, 15, 20, how many ever, I could do that. And number two, I'm not restricted to just fields. I can have a combination. As you can see, what's there in summary has just been repeated in soffit and has been repeated in siding and windows and so on and so forth. So how do you do that? So you add something called a repeat control, and you add the JavaScript that goes along with it in the code for repeat control. The advantage here is you can use this to capture data, or you can also use this to display data. So one very easy place where you can consider using this is to create a business card view for your users, they can choose whether they want to show 4 cards at a time, 8 cards, 16 cards, and you don't have to do anything except for use this control. Moving on, we go into search, and this is something you've seen. You've probably implemented it in many places. Having multiple fields to search on and the results being displayed in the view. And when you had to do this in Lotus Notes, it was simple, but to add this, you had an embedded view, and then you had a form, and then whatever was there, you had to do a show single category equivalent, and then showcase what was the results in your view. On the web, you had mechanisms to do it as well. With XPages, this has just become a little simpler. One of the things you can do is to create a view with all those searchable terms as the first few columns and sort them. Once you do that, you create the form in the XPage. You create the fields, and then you go to the advanced and set it up so that it binds to the appropriate field, and so it knows what column values it should actually display. And then in the view control, make sure that you hide those columns that you have sorted, and then in the search property, write your code which would just pick up values from what the user has searched for. So those are just 2 fields, and then showcase it in the view. It's just a simple search. Now panels, as you can see, are a very versatile element. The key here is that in a same screen you can have multiple panels, each of them showing different things. So you can actually have a chart, a bar graph, some kind of news items, everything put together in a simple screen. And the advantage is you control when you want to submit and when you want to not submit, when you want to validate your fields. You can control that, and that's an advantage with panel. And of course, panels can be part of your controls too. Now we are showing a specific case of embedding videos. Now users are used to YouTube, and they would like to either upload by themselves, or they give you a set of videos to upload and they would like you to add them to your application. Or as simple as this, you can have a training video for your application, reduce the amount of documentation you need to do. And it's pretty simple. By adding an object and setting up the JavaScript for it, you can very easily embed videos. So the code is right here, and you can check that out. The next biggest advantage is something called custom controls. Now custom controls are kind of similar to your subforms, where you can have your own fields, panels, repeat controls, and pretty much everything that you would use in a custom control, and you can save them and make it available for other applications as well. So create your own controls. You can make tree navigators, custom footers, maybe a file upload, which several of your applications will need, and you can take this and put it in your master template and make it available. They all work with the same domino security you are used to. They work with the same inheritance that you are used to, so you can actually reuse it in multiple different places. And unlike subforms, you could only embed one subform at a time. That's no longer the case. You can embed multiple custom controls in each XPage. And the other advantage is they have parameters, so it doesn't matter that you don't necessarily have to use your custom control exactly the same way. If you parameterize it, you can pass the parameter, and based on that your custom control can behave differently. However, not all is hunky-dory here. Using XPages, you do have a steep learning curve, and not enough documentation comes along with it. You do have to search a little bit on the net, and there are good primers available from which you need to start off on. There are performance issues that we have seen. 2 GB is fairly recommended for it to run well. 32K limits on fields still exist, so if you want to bind a large amount of data into a text field, that's going to be difficult here. And the Ajax functionality, which is what you can use for your panels so that each panel can refresh itself showing different data, there are inconsistencies, especially in 8.5. So if you are starting off right now, go ahead and start off with 8.5.2, which is much better, and it has much less problems when we are developing or with the users as well. So if you are a newbie, don't wait any longer. Start learning XPages. It takes some time, but you can easily do that. And take these concepts like themes, One UI, everything that XPages brings to you, and start applying them on your existing applications, and your users are going to love it. It is definitely cheaper compared to trying to rewrite your entire functionality in a totally different platform just for the usability. If you're already an expert, you already know about XPages, and you're thinking, how do I use it, how do I leverage this better, then the best way is to go ahead and start creating your own reusable components, creating your own custom controls, which makes your life much simpler, and it makes it really easy for you to develop applications in the same rad manner, just that it looks really good. So here is the plug. What does Maarga do? We work a lot with Lotus Domino quicker connections, and same time we do application development and maintenance. And if you have any such needs, please do contact us. The information is in the last page. And this journey for me in XPages has been really good, especially with the kind of great support from places like Declan Lynn's blog, Kristuhi Tripkani, all these blogs that I read regularly. My entire team, which has been like working on XPages in the last 2 years full time, and everyone in the Lotus world. You can visit us in booth 206 at LTAP 2010. You can connect with me on LinkedIn for more information, discussions. If you have specific technical questions, you can please visit us on the website or call us. Thank you.